We bring you across the pond to the 33 boroughs of London, England, the SFL's lone site outside of North America. They do it a little differently over here. You can't get lunch at 11:30. You can't drive on the right side of the street. But we do have some gridiron action tonight as the Carolina Skyhawks face off against the London Knights. This is a Simulation Football League presented by APM Music as we welcome you to Queensway here on the outskirts of downtown London. My name is Josh Circle, bringing you play-by-play for this evening's matchup. And joining me in the booth is my best friend in the whole world, good old AA himself, Aaron Alexander. And Aaron, the playoff races are heating up. Only 12 teams are getting into the postseason with just under 4 weeks to go. What do you expect to see tonight as these teams start to make a playoff push?
Yeah, definitely some playoff implications here. Realistically, could be seen as a must-win for London, who are they've been pretty rocky the past couple of games. They're currently on a 4-game losing streak, so we're definitely going to look to turn that around. Carolina, though, has won their past two, and between common opponents between these two teams, Carolina currently has 2 wins to just 1 for London. One of those, of course, being the win against Queen City in Week 7, ending their undefeated season.
Carolina 4-4 on the season right now. London, after a hot start, has cooled considerably. Now sitting on 3 wins and 5 losses. A bit of a surprise for a team that stormed out of the gate in Season 17. London will kick off wearing their deep red uniforms from head to toe. Carolina in white with dark helmets and red pants. Here in jolly old London, England, thank you so much for joining us here on Twitch, and we are underway. Saren Storm from his own 10-yard line. Excuse me, that's Harish Prasad. And Prasad, the returned legend for the Carolina Special Teams Corps. 12 special teams touchdowns all time. 11 of those on kickoffs. And he will get his team to the 33-yard line to start the festivities. Let's introduce the Skyhawks offense. The wide receivers, Sam Avalis, Harish Prasad. The tight ends, Vince DeSantis and Tony Zoma. The halfback is Logan Jack. And the quarterback, Matt South, here still in his first year at Carolina. And South will throw on first down and complete to Logan Jack. And my apologies to Heath McDaniel Jr., who I missed in the introduction. Jack gets to the line of scrimmage, Aaron, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they started with some pretty good field position. Unfortunately, that pass from Matt South to Logan Jack doesn't go anywhere. But it's still a really early game. Still only 2nd down. Very manageable situation here for Carolina.
All right, Freddie Greer, the fullback, checking in. He and Jack on either hip of South in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. South trades one to rush. He can't get away. London with the first sack of the evening. And it's a big flex over the quarterback. Drinking it and smashing it. Now it's standing. Sack right out of the gate for London, 3rd and 18.
Yeah, that was Telemac Scarborough coming in off of the edge from his linebacker position. And the lineman just didn't block him. He came in a bit too quickly, and that's a nice sack there for Telemac. And
it's intercepted. London with the first turnover of the game. Brandon Ewing coming away with the ball. And now London will be on offense with great field position to start their first drive.
Yeah, and Brandon Ewing with interception number 20 on his career. Was about to mention coming into this game, Matt South, the 2nd least sacked quarterback in the league behind Mexico City's Matt Wilson. Unfortunately for Matt South there, though, I think the additional pressure from this London defensive core caused that throw, and London now sees himself with great field position after that turnover.
And here comes Britain's favorite quarterback, Johnny Pickler. Still in his first year in London, starting in the shotgun on 1st and 10. And that is complete to Mike St. Green, a fellow newcomer. And let's meet the London Knights offense. On the offensive line, the guards, Perrin Ibarra, the rookie, and Butch Menner. The wide receivers are Saren Storm, Mike St. Green, and Vin Calia. The tight end, Benji Matson. In his 10th season, the halfback, Robert Merrill. And Johnny Pickler in his 4th SFL season. That quarterback will start under center on 2nd and 3 and finds Merrill to the sideline. He cannot turn upfield, and that pass is complete for a loss. It'll be 3rd and medium here, Aaron.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that Merrill's momentum there just doesn't allow him to get that turn up field that he needs in order to try and extend this drive. A manageable 3rd down situation though for a team that has done pretty well on 3rd down so far this season.
Just under 50-50, which puts him at 13th in the league. And Pickler will throw here on 3rd and 6. Complete over the middle. St. Green again, spinning for extra yardage, and that will get a 1st down for the Monarchs. The first down of the game for either team.
Yeah, that's just a nice possession-style throw and catch there from Johnny Pickler into the hands of Mike St. Green, continuing this drive for London after that great interception earlier by Brandon Ewing.
And now trips to Pickler's right. 6 defensive backs on the field for Carolina. Pickler deals again. St. Green again. As we are seeing an early trend develop here. St. Green already 3 catches on the evening. 2nd and 6.
Yeah, bit of a different look here out of London. They're normally, you normally see them throw more medium to long range passes, but so far in this game against Carolina, they're playing a much more possession based game with the core of that being Mike St. Green.
3 wideouts for London. Matson to Pickler's left. Merrill in the backfield by himself. 4-man rush for London, and the rush gets home. Pickler goes down. What has been a strong point for London most of the season, it's Phil Hall, who looks over his defeated prey. And Carolina with a big TFL there, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's honestly what Carolina needed, a bit of a momentum shift in order to try and swing this into the hands of the Skyhawks. A long 3rd down here now for London.
3rd and 12. 3 wideouts and Matson to Pickler's right. And he will take the snap in the shotgun over the middle. And that is dropped. I believe that's Rocco McLovin, the number 5 wide receiver in this London offense. Interesting option there.
Yeah, you would be correct. That was Rocco McLovin on the drop there. Potential for us to see McLongfellow. It looks like they're going to punt it away, though.
Interesting call from the 34-yard line. This would have been a 51-yard field goal for Peter McLongfellow, with a potentially deceptive name, as he does not have any particular attributes in terms of length. Prasad will fair catch at the 12. And Carolina will go back out on the field. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Now Matt South will try again in the shadow of his own goalpost, and that pass is complete. Avalos. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that's honestly a big first play from Carolina after the interception into the hands of Sam Avolis. And a good start to this second drive here for the Skyhawks.
South under center, 2nd and 4. That is complete. And that is Vince DeSantis, the number 2 tight end. Only 18 catches all time for DeSantis, 14 on the season. 3 last week, and now on the stat sheet with 1 here, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and a good one at that. Sets up a really manageable 3rd down situation here for Carolina. We may see the first handoff to Logan Jack here.
And there it is. Aaron's crystal ball rings true, and Jack delivers a 1st down, their first of the game for Carolina.
Yeah, that short catch by DeSantis setting up that nice 3-yard run by Logan Jack. Very similar uses offensively for these 2 halfbacks. Definitely more pass catchers first as opposed to primary rushers.
Carolina keeping both of their tight ends on the field here for 1st and 10. And Jack around the left side has the first down and more. It's a race down the left sideline. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. They will not catch him. Logan Jack finds the end zone, and Carolina strikes first.
And just when I say that Logan Jack is used more as a pass catcher, he decides to just throw my commentary out the window and breaks a long 76-yard run with honestly some great blocking by the fullback number 40 there. That was Freddie Greer. And it was just off to the races. Ewing and Rain Rie just not able to keep up with the speed of Logan Jack. And like you said, Carolina's on the board first here midway through the first quarter.
A 76-yard ground strike from Logan Jack, the 6th-year halfback. And Carolina, that's tough to fly across an ocean, drop down in a foreign country, and try and win a football game, but Carolina on their way. Striking first blood here, and now Whistle Jones, the 4th-year kicker, will attempt the extra point, and that is successful. Jones has not missed a single field goal. Hit along a 48, and that may come into play later in the game, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely an advantage toward Carolina, at least in terms of special teams, having a kicker like Whistle Jones that's consistent and capable of making these long field goals when needed. London not as keen on having Longfellow make those type of kicks despite the week 1 heroics.
Darren Storm, in his first season as kick returner and punt returner, gets out to the 27. An interesting decision to put Storm out there on special teams when they have a lot of experience. Mike St. Green, of course, handled those duties in Jacksonville. Robert Merrill handled those previously, and he'd be a fine option. But Storm has been back there, and his 54 kick returns are tops in the league. And I would say he's done a fine job with that so far. Pickler in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Trips to his left. He throws over the middle. That is caught again. Pickler been dealing quite a bit over the middle. And that is Webster Speedy, the number 4 wide receiver. Everybody getting a touch in the London offense tonight.
Yeah, and honestly, that's more London's MO, is to pass the ball around, especially to their core of receivers. Definitely different to see them give looks to wideout 4 and wideout 5 here, but a smooth offense nonetheless here for the Knights.
Pickler, 1st and 10, dealing, and finds Vin Calia running the classic 5 and out. And Monte Wyatt injured on the play. The free safety for Carolina. That is bad news. We're going to keep you updated on that injury as soon as we have more information available.
Yeah, that injury could be a big hit to the Carolina secondary, especially since the free safety 2 there is, I believe, a rookie in Daniel Valentine.
Already a benevolent pass defense, if you will, Carolina is. 23rd in the league in terms of touchdowns, 22nd in terms of yardage. Calia working the left sideline again. And he's just short of the marker, 3rd and inches.
Yeah, but a good possession game on this drive here for London. Very, very manageable 3rd down situation. I would honestly be surprised if they don't pick this up. Well, that would definitely be credit to the defense of the Skyhawks if they are able to hold London here.
And I believe we've not seen Robert Merrill touch the ball on this drive yet. Perhaps to do so here. 3rd and inches. Pickler, all the time in the world. Over the middle. Deflected and falls incomplete. And now London from their own 47-yard line has a big decision here on 4th and inches.
Yeah, definitely a poor decision there by Pickler. He had Robert Merrill open in the flat with plenty of space to get the first down and more, but decides to try and throw it deep. And this Carolina Skyhawk defense just completely prepared for it. Looks like they may try and go for it here on 4th and inches, though.
Bunch formation to Pickler's right. We've seen teams line this up and try and draw the defense off sides. They only need a few inches. You can see where the ball is relative to the marker. But London was just fooling you. They call timeout.
Yeah, some good discipline there from that front four of Carolina in order to not fall for the hard count. And London looking like they're going to punt this one away here.
I mean, if you're going to punt from the plus 34, you're almost certainly going to punt from your own 37, or your own 47, excuse me. As Bono Wilkinson gets set to deliver the boot. Harish Prasad waiting in the shadow of his own goalpost from the 19. Nowhere to go. They're going to spot him a yard out to the 20. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for information on how to create a player, to join our community, the league and the teams that play in it, and a comprehensive history of the SFL. Over 1,500 games and thousands of players have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. Now Matt South will find split backs behind him on 1st and 10. Short drop going to his left. Jack has it. And Jack able to turn upfield, get some nice yardage on 1st down. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that play definitely could have gone a lot worse for Carolina. Mount South, though, with the veteran presence, step up in the pocket as it was collapsing around him and get that into the hands of Logan Jack, who's able to pick up 6. Very manageable 2nd down here for Carolina.
Absolutely. South again, 2nd and 4 over the middle. That is intercepted again. London with their 2nd pick of the game. Bad news. Rain Rie. Good news for the 3rd-year defensive back. Getting interception number 2 off of Matt South.
Yeah, and that was just honestly a good coverage call by London's defensive coordinator. Rain Rie just in the right place at the right time to make a great read on that ball. And that is unfortunate for Matt South and Carolina. That's pick number 2 on the day for the veteran quarterback for the Skyhawks.
And now Johnny Pickler will come back out on the field, not too far from where his last drive stalled out on the 32-yard line. And Pickler will throw on 1st down, and that is complete to St. Green, who's been a very busy man already here. His 4th catch of the evening, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, St. Green proving himself a very valuable asset as a possession type receiver. Again, not something we typically see out of London. They're usually more 10 yards plus when it comes to the passing game. I like this look from London, though. Definitely a good change of pace, I think, for this offense.
2 tight ends on the field. Pickler going over the middle, complete. Callie, a spin move. Touchdown, London. An extra point from tying it up.
Yeah, and that was just a great spin move there from Vin Calia in order to basically fake the receiver out and get into the end zone. Take another look at this. Whoop, not today. And London, after a bit of a back and forth between them and Carolina on the Rain Rie interception, finally capitalizes and just to make Longfellow extra point away from tying this up.
A 2-play, 31-yard drive, culminating in the 24-yard touchdown catch and run to Vin Calia. Spot is down. The kick is up in a little bit of traffic, but it is true. And Aaron, we are knotted at 7 apiece.
Yeah, I honestly expected this to be more of a shootout between Matt South and Johnny Pickler. And so far, this is definitely living up to that with big plays from both sides of the ball here. Definitely one to stay tuned to.
4:24 left here in the 1st quarter. Harish Prasad from his own 11. Spin move of zone, turning up the middle, and that is nice yardage to start for Carolina at their own 33-yard line.
Yeah, that's a good return by Harish Prasad there. whose name, at least on the offensive side of the ball, we haven't called at all so far this game. Though that on account of only 6 attempts from quarterback Matt South here.
South under center on 1st and 10. Split backs. Over the middle. And there is Harish Prasad. And Prasad has a 1st down on the first catch of the game. Let's introduce the London Knights defense. Actually, no. Aaron, tell us about this play.
I mean, it's just a nice route. The slant there from Prasad just cut through the coverage scheme of the London Knights here. And Matt South just able to take advantage of it with a nice pocket. And we have a Carolina 1st down here on the first play of this drive.
Sorry to dump that on you, buddy. I wasn't expecting us to get a replay. We'll introduce the London defense after this play. And there's the handoff to Jack. And Jack up the middle will get a couple 2nd and 8. Let's meet this Knights defense as we see the update on Monte Wyatt. Good news for the Nighthawks. On the front line for London, Chad Rowland, William Davidson, the Snowman, Cam Crosby, and the rookie Selwyn Lane. In the linebacking core, Jeff Gagne, Telemac Scarborough, and Tony Roberto. And in the secondary, Brandon Ewing, Emmanuel Blackman, Anthony Wyo, and Tanner Hendricks. South dealing to his right on 2nd and 8. And Carolina trying to make something happen there. Prasad, a couple yards from the sticks, tried to turn it a corner and could not quite make it.
And there was a marker down.
Let's see what that was. Ooh.
Face mask
Some
on
London.
Ewing.
Obviously difficult to see from our vantage point, but R62 at field level. We'll get a good look at it here. Wow, that's terrible if that's a face mask. Next time, actually grab the face mask and prohibit the ball carrier from running further.
Yeah, that was more like a slap in the shoulder than a face mask. Definitely don't agree with that call, though it is to the boon of Carolina here.
Their best field position so far. South over the middle, and that's a huge catch. Heath McDaniel Jr., the 3rd-year wide receiver, coming up huge, laying out in its 1st and goal, Carolina.
Yeah, that's honestly just an impressive effort there by Heath McDaniel in order to get that ball thrown just a little too far ahead of him, so he has to catch a bit of air there in order to get it, and he's able to keep a hand on it despite the contact as well. An incredible play from McDaniel Jr. puts Carolina into London's red zone.
Gain of 22 for McDaniel. Jack up the middle on 1st and goal. Not much doing there, maybe a yard or 2. And you like the decision to pound the rock here with Logan Jack in the red zone near the goal line, Aaron?
I can kind of see the reason behind it. Try and run out a bit more clock here in the 1st quarter. But the run game isn't something that you're particularly used to running, so I definitely think going to the pass here may be a better call.
South in the shotgun at 2nd down. Finds McDaniel Jr. again. Lobbing that ball perfectly out of reach of the charging defensive back. And this time, Carolina down to the 3-yard line.
That was when I think you would run the ball.
Logan Jack, 47 rushing touchdowns all-time coming into the week, sitting at 48 now after his 76-yard scamper earlier this quarter. Jack gets a call here, breaks a tackle, up to the goal line. They're going to call him down inside the 1, and it's 4th and goal for Carolina.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a red flag here. That honestly is way too close to reasonably call. It looks like they're going to just...
Yeah, they're going to kick it. Here comes Whistle Jones.
Interesting call.
Interesting is a word for it. Jones, perfect on the season from field goals. And that's from 17 yards, so short you almost feel like you're wasting your time measuring it, but it is good. And Carolina does have a 10-7 lead.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand both the ball spot on that run by Logan Jack and also Carolina's decision to not challenge the spot of the ball or even go for it on 4th and goal. Even if you don't get it, you've pinned London at their own goal line.
I'm right there with you, brother. Sarah Storm mauled at the 23-yard line by some fantastic Carolina special teams tackling. Johnny Pickler, we'll see what he could do here in the waning moments of this first quarter.
Yeah, if there's one thing I know about this London offense, they can definitely score quickly. Something Carolina needs to be mindful of.
Trips to Pickler's right at 1st and 10. Short drop, throwing to his left. And that is Callia again. 4th catch of the afternoon. You see the numbers there. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, not the type of play I was necessarily envisioning when I said that London could score quickly, but a smart play nonetheless. Sven Callia stepping out of bounds. Or not, apparently. I thought he stepped out of bounds to stop the clock, but clock's still running.
I wonder if they gave him the forward progress on the field. But as you mentioned, Aaron, a lot of patience out of this London offense so far. As Pickler goes short over the middle, that's complete to Merrill, but short of the marker, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, definitely a surprising change of pace, but a welcome one by this London offense. Definitely, I think, in an effort to try and limit the turnover trouble that Pickler tends to find himself in with these longer, tight passes.
Pickler will deal on 3rd and 1. That is caught. Mike St. Green taking a shot near the right sideline. But that is good for a 1st down, and that is good for a quarter. The teams have to switch sides, but you can stay right there. More gridiron action coming your way. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Twitch. And Declan ruined everything. Welcome back to Queensway, London, England for Week 9 SFL action. Josh Zirkle, Aaron Allen, Alexander in the booth. Declan O'Rourke doing a great job on stats, not ruining everything. Just kidding, Declan. Cameron Irvine producing. Johnny Pickler under center with a fresh set of downs here as we begin quarter number 2. And Pickler takes a shot as he gets it off to Merrill. Merrill breaks a tackle but gets out of bounds. Nice gain by the 10th-year halfback. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, Robert Merrill hasn't been particularly productive offensively here. But a good check down by Johnny Pickler. And realistically, if that defender hadn't have been there, Merrill may have gotten a 1st down and a bit more. But it is instead forced out of bounds after breaking that tackle.
Pickler to his right now. St. Green is there, and St. Green with another 1st down. And how productive has Mike St. Green been in this game? 6 catches in just over a quarter already.
Yeah, 6 catches, as you mentioned, on 6 targets. Currently perfect as far as receptions go. But interestingly, only 35 yards. Definitely a lot less than we normally see out of any of these London receivers at this point in the game.
Those last 2 have been for 3rd downs. Pickler going big down the left side, and it's caught! Callie again! 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, London! And the Knights take the lead.
And again, as I make mention of it, I'm immediately undermined as Vincalia goes 50 yards on a beautiful catch and run. And he's almost at 100 now in the game. London has taken the lead in this game now, and we're barely even a minute into the second.
Just magnificent how fast things could change here in any given sim day in the SFL. A 50-yard strike to Vincalia. We saw one-on-one coverage, and Calia did the rest, taking it into the end zone for his second touchdown of the evening. The extra point is good. And London leads by 4, Aaron.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, London's very capable of striking quick, and here at the start of the second, strike quick they do with that 50-yard dot to Vincalia. Carolina on the back foot here now, but definitely a capable offense in their own right.
Prasad breaks a tackle, tries to get around the left side, can't quite get there, but still gets out to the 28-yard line. And what do you want to see from the Carolina offense here? Matt South, 2 interceptions. Going to Logan Jack a little too late at some of these drives. What do you want to see here, Aaron?
I think they need to start going more possession style with their passes, like London's been doing. That's been working for them. Because some of these, the interceptions have been on long balls from Matt South deep into the London secondary, and London has just been all over them. So sticking with these rushes by Logan Jack, as we saw there, sticking with these more short to mid-range passes, I think, will benefit Carolina in the long haul in this game.
You just saw the numbers there for Logan Jack, 92 yards already in just over a quarter. South in the shotgun on 2nd and 8. 2 wideouts to either side. London runs a twist. South uncorks it, and that is deflected. Brandon Ewing, I think, got a fingertip on it before it got to Sam Avalise, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, like I mentioned, this deep ball from Matt South just hasn't been working. That one admittedly almost did, but a great hand on it by Brandon Ewing in order to stop that ball short.
Now Logan Jack comes off the field. 5 wide receivers for Carolina. London twists again, and the ball gets home, and that is going to be incomplete. I thought that was a fumble, and it's Chad Rowland, the 4th-year defensive end, who put in the wood to Matt South, and Carolina's going to have to punt.
Yeah, I mean, depending on who you ask, that was a fumble, but Ref 62 not calling it one here. But great pressure from Chad Rowland. Unfortunately, isn't going to get a sack there, but does bring up a key 4th down here for the Knights to try and extend this lead even further than it already is.
Mike Johnson gets it away. Storm out to the 38. And London seems to have all the inertia in this matchup right now, as once again, they start with great field position.
Yeah, the pendulum of momentum fully on the side of London here as they look to start yet another drive here in the second.
Pickler in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Merrill to his left. Quickly releases to the right side, and once again, Mike St. Green is there like a good neighbor. 2nd and 6.
Mike St. Green, the State Farm man.
You could say you're in good hands with Mike St. Green also.
You sure could. And considering he's 7 for 7 on catches right now, definitely has good hands.
Pickler over the middle. That is complete. And that's going to be another 1st down for London. Rocco McLovin continues to make his presence felt in this game. And it's a 1st down for the Knights near midfield.
Yeah, McLovin making up for that earlier drop here as he picks up a big 1st down here for the Knights. who now find themselves again into Carolina territory.
Pickler in the swing pass to Merrill. Great adjustment by the halfback. He's going to get a couple yards before being wrestled down. But that's a nice gain on first down. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, just a really nice check down there from Pickler into the hands of Robert Merrill. And as you mentioned, a great adjustment in order to get his hands on that ball. And manages to get a few yards out of it. 2nd down here for the Knights.
And once again, 4 wide receivers on the field for London. We've seen a lot of big-time looks in that front today. And McLovin again over the middle, putting his body on the line, getting a first down for the Knights.
Yeah, McLovin, a bit of an understated presence on this London offense, but making it well known here. 2 straight catches, 2 straight first downs for the wide receiver 4 here for London as they look to continue this drive deeper into Skyhawks territory.
Arguably in field goal range. Pickler over the middle. And that is caught. Kelly again. His 3rd touchdown of the night. My goodness.
Absolute insanity on behalf of London. And honestly, that was just a nice pass from Johnny Pickler there. Definitely this week looking like a much different quarterback than we've seen in weeks prior. Of course, the Knights trying to prove that they belong solidly in the playoff picture here. And barring a McLovin extra point, they'll be up by 11 here on the Skyhawks.
Peter McLongfellow lining it up. In London, after Carolina going up early 7-0, has scored the last 14 points in this game. And it's 21-10. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL. And Harish Prasad will try and keep the jerseys off of him. And going backwards again. It's the 2nd time we've seen him do that in this game. He is going to get the forward progress, though, and gets the ball out to the Carolina 27.
Yeah, and it's been a bit rough for Harish Prasad on these kick returns. He has had a couple that it looks like he was going to break open, but this London Specialties unit has been doing incredibly well containing him.
Matt South will start in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Over the middle, it's McDaniel Jr. Another good catch, putting his body on the line. 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and passes like that are more what I want to see out of the Skyhawks defense or offense, excuse me. Because these long bombs that they've been trying just haven't been there. London, as I will probably continue to mention throughout this game, has just been all over them. The defensive pressure that they've been maintaining has been nothing short of impressive.
And there's another catch. They're around the left side out of the bunch formation. Sambo Vilas. And it is 1st and 10, a fresh set of downs for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, and that's, again, just a nice possession grab by Avalis, however you pronounce his name. I'm trying.
South out to the flat. Logan Jack has it. Breaks the tackle and gets out to the 47-yard line into plus territory. The clock continues to run. 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and honestly, just a nice grab there by Logan Jack. Brandon Ewing coming in for the stop there.
And another 2 tight end set here. Actually, 3 tight ends. And Logan Jack making a one-handed catch and turning upfield. And he's got another first down. Nice little catch and run. spinning around like that, turning upfield. I mean, he made that look really easy, but that is not easy.
No, I can speak from experience. Making a catch and turn like that is probably one of the more difficult things you can do as a back from the backfield, either full or half. But a nice catch nonetheless in order to keep this drive going for Carolina.
One back set, and Jack gets the ball again. And this time he's corralled down behind the line. Tony Roberto coming up muy grande with a TFL. It's 2nd and 12.
Yeah, a big TFL there from the outside linebacker in Tony Roberto. A potential momentum shift on this drive toward the side of London.
And now the heavy set for Carolina. Jack up the middle and can't get much of anything at all there. Kelly Mack Scarborough getting credit for the tackle there, and it's 3rd and long. Carolina in danger of watching another drive stall out.
Yeah, Kelly Mack Scarborough tackled number 350 on his career, and it brings up a long 3rd down situation here for the Skyhawks.
South in the shotgun. And that is complete to Prasad. Prasad fighting for yards. It's going to be dropped just short of the marker. Tanner Hendricks defending the 1st down marker with extreme prejudice, and it's going to be 4th and 2.
Yeah, Prasad, though, with a very, very nice stop and turn upfield in order to get that additional yardage. But this drive is going to end with the boot from Whistle Jones. 46 yards, I believe, the distance for this field goal try.
He made a 46-yarder last week, went 3 for 3 in that game, and it's true from that distance here. And every little bit helps, and that kick from Jones makes it a 1-score game, 21-13.
Yeah, the pendulum swinging a bit more toward the side of Carolina now after that drive. London, though, still firmly in control of this game, up 8 here with 3:57 left to go in the half.
Plenty of time for Johnny Pickler. And as you mentioned earlier, and running time off the clock has not been something we've traditionally seen London do, but they have been very patient with their offensive play calling so far in this game, especially in the first half, and especially finding Mike St. Green, who has 7 catches already, and then peppering in some deep shots to Vincalia, who's already over the century mark.
Yeah, but there's still some quiet marks on the stat sheet here in Saren Storm and Benji Matson.
Mike St. Green again. Very dapper gentleman. His white spats you can recognize from one end of the stadium to the other. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, another possession catch there from St. Green. But yeah, Saren Storm and Benji Matson have been haven't had a catch, but also haven't been targeted this game. Whereas both wide receiver 4 McLovin and wide receiver 5 have gotten touches this game.
Deep drop by Pickler over the middle, and that's deflected and falls incomplete. Intended for Matson. And another point on that, Aaron. Robert Merrill has only 1 carry in the game.
True. Very true. But this is London we're talking about. It's not exactly surprising. They do tend to prefer using Robert Merrill as an additional pass option as opposed to establishing a run game.
Fair, a fumble out of bounds by Calia. And out of bounds it shall remain. Either way, short of the 1st down, Tristan Hatley putting a hat on Calia. And now it's 4th and 2. And I'm looking at the game log from last week here, Aaron. And Merrill only had 5 carries in that game as well. So that may be just a trend that we see continue to carry out here on their road trip in London.
Yeah, absolutely. Merrill only 85 carries so far this season, averaging going into this game just over 10 per game.
Prasad hogtied. He's going to get spotted at the 35. And a clutch stop by that Carolina defense. They're giving up some big plays earlier in the game, but they come up huge there. Not a lot of time goes off the clock. And now Matt South has a chance to drive down the field to potentially tie this game.
Yeah, big momentum shift on that drive toward Carolina. A big stop by their defense, especially that linebacking core that's able to stop these plays from really developing before they're able to get any further than they do.
Logan Jack with a gain of 3. You saw the yards per carry average. Most of that coming from his 76-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Could he do it again if called upon? South on second down. Throw it to his left. Jack is there. Nice spin move. And finally brought down at the 44. And now it's 3rd and 1. Clock continues to run, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, considering he's over the century mark all purpose, it definitely seems that this offense for Carolina is breathing through the antics of Logan Jack here.
And the fans at Queensway here coming alive. Chance of defense. South in the shotgun, and the defense does prevail. London dragging down Matt South. Clutch sack if ever there was. And now it's 4th down.
Yeah, the clutchest of sacks from Chad Rowland, who's early on had some troubles jumping off sides, falling to the hard count.
That brings us to the 2-minute warning. Matt South driving. Can London hold him off until the intermission? You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Twitch. Welcome back to Queensway, London, England, Week 9 SFL action. Josh Circle, Aaron Alexander in the booth. Declan O'Rourke on stats. Thank you, Declan. Cameron Irvine producing. And Carolina is going to punt it away here on 4th and 9. Pressure coming. The punt gets away. Oh, somebody just got jilted at midfield. And Storm getting jilted there out to the 33. And just when it looked like Carolina was going to be able to make a drive of it. London gets the ball back, and now this is sort of there in their wheelhouse. Sort of quick strike time for a 2-minute offense. And Johnny Pickler, tremendous chops as a 2-minute quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's played an almost perfect game so far for the Knights. 21 of 24 with 3 long bomb TDs to Vin Callia.
And giving Saren Storm his first target and reception of the game. Looking to right those wrongs. Still glaring on the stat sheet. Yeah, just blow on those dice and say baby needs a new pair of Benji Matson.
Yeah, that blank glaring no more as Saren Storm gets a very nice grab on first down.
New tight end set for London here. St. Green again. He's going to buy real estate on that sideline as much time as he's spending over there. That's another first down for London.
Right. Mike St. Green looking to set up a beachside property on the Carolina sideline.
Yes. Catch number 9 of the evening for St. Green. Did we mention we're still in the first half? Pickler again driving. Clock stop with 1:16. They stay in the 2 tight end set. Short drop. Pickler over the middle. Another catch. Is that Kalia? Buried at the bottom of that pile it is. And London will hurry up.
London does still have 2 timeouts that they can use if they need it.
Pickler over the middle. Finds Kalia again. Unbelievable. London in the red zone, and they finally call a timeout.
Huh?
Is it the same play? I feel like every big ball he's caught has been right there within a span of 5 yards.
I'm honestly surprised that Tristan Hatley didn't do more to try and get that ball out of the hands of Vin Kalia there.
It swatted away. It was right there. I think he was still waiting for it to come in. Didn't look like he quite saw it in time. And with the speed of Vin Kalia, that presents its own problems. Pickler over the middle. The caught. And that's another touchdown for Kalia. 4 on the night.
4 touchdowns for Johnny Pickler. 4 touchdowns into the capable hands of Vin Kalia, who is approaching a 2nd century in receiving yards. Wow.
An unbelievable half for Vin Kalia. 10 receptions on 11 targets. We have him at about 180 yards right now. Just a monster first half. The extra point is good. And it's 28-13. London. Carolina's going to get one more bite at the apple before the intermission.
Yeah, this London offense right now is looking eerily similar to arguably the best passing team in the league in the Baltimore Vultures, with just how aggressive's not the right word, but London has just had their foot on the gas this entire game and have refused to let up.
Pickler just doing exactly what he wants with the football. Just does not seem to be any rhyme or reason, lulling the defense to sleep. With these 5 and outs from Mike St. Green, has 9 of those. 5 and outs. Think about the math on a 5 and out. And Mike St. Green has 9 catches for 45 yards. Now that is running an offense to perfection.
Yeah, absolutely.
South over the middle. That is caught. I think that's Tony Zoma.
That was Tony Zoma on that reception.
3 catches for Zoma last week. 24 coming into the week on the season. And South taking a shot there, looking for McDaniel Jr. Just a bit outside of his reach. 3rd and 1.
Yeah, a dangerous potential ball there by Matt South, though. Anthony Wayo just eagerly hunting that ball down, trying to get interception number 3 for this London Knights defense.
Two tight end set for Carolina. Rear in the backfield with Jack. Jack gets the call. Jack has a first down. Out to the 45 and to the 46, where Carolina will use their first timeout of the evening.
And Logan Jack hitting the century mark in rushing yards here with a very nice run, breaking 2, 3, maybe 4 tackles there on that run. Just a strong showing from Logan Jack on that carry.
32 seconds here left in the first half. Matt South near midfield. Even a little more progress down the field. We'll get to some points. London jumps offside. Jack up the middle. And that's going to be about to the point of negligibility. Is that a word?
Yeah,
a 5-yard penalty or a 5-yard run?
I think they're going to take the penalty because I think it was only a 4-yard run there. But I mentioned it earlier. That one called by Mr. Jumpy himself, Chad Rowland.
Yes.
Who, for some reason, just time and time again, we see fall for these hard counts despite how disciplined he normally is. But this season just hasn't been kind to him.
And accepting the penalty will make it 1st and 5. Not an insignificant situation, even with as little time as left. South dealing to Jack on the right sideline. Jack with a spin move. He doesn't get out of bounds, though. And London will hurry up with 20 seconds remaining.
Carolina does still have 2 timeouts that they can use here, though.
Matt South under pressure. Sacked. Carolina will hurry up again. 6 seconds remaining. 5 seconds. They've got to hurry. Short drop by South. Steps up in the pocket. And it's caught. And time expires. They will not get a chance for a field goal. Prasad putting it on the line to make that catch. But all for naught as the half comes to a close.
Definitely think Carolina should have used at least one of their timeouts there. Try and, change the formation at least. I mean, they did end up getting the first down there at the end, but all for naught there, I'm afraid.
And what a half that has been. Mike St. Green, 9 catches on the half for 45 yards. Vin Calia, 10 catches. Potentially threatening an SFL single game record. We'll keep you appraised on that. But as it stands now, London will be receiving the ball to start the third quarter. And Sarah Storm will get this out to the 24-yard line. And that is where Johnny Pickler, in this white-hot, jolly good London offense, will set up shop to start the third quarter.
Yeah, I definitely expected more of a shootout between Matt South and Johnny Pickler, but it's been almost night and day between these two. Johnny Pickler, 26-29 at 286 with a QBR of 147, and looks to improve that with that grab by, I believe that was Saren Storm.
That would have been Storm's second catch of the game. There's Saren Storm. Amazing you can catch anything with that very dark visor on, especially here at night.
Yeah.
But it's a fresh set of downs for London. Pickler over the middle again. It's St. Green this time. And St. Green coming up with another first down.
Yeah, and that makes catch number 10 for Mike St. Green. Puts Johnny Pickler at 90% completion right now.
28 of 31. 4 touchdowns. His passer rating sitting at 147.8. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
go ahead, Aaron. Excuse me.
I was going to say over 300 yards, and we're just into the second half.
And there's your boy, Rocco McLovin, coming up with a huge catch on the logo. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Pickler's going to throw it. Going deep to the right side, and that is intercepted. Davidson Joseph letting the air out of the balloon. The Carolina's got new life.
Note the one time they try and throw a deep ball to a receiver not named Vin Calia, it gets read and intercepted.
Yep.
That one intended for Mike St. Green, who to this point hasn't really run any routes deep, but Davison Joseph, right place, right time, gets a great interception and sets Carolina up to potentially try and steal a touchdown back on London.
It looked like St. Green might have stumbled a little bit during that route. As Matt South delivers on 1st and 10 to Logan Jack out in the right flat. And you see the numbers there. That's his sixth catch of the evening. Second and 3.
Yeah, definitely has been the primary pass catcher here for the Skyhawks. But when you're down 15, you definitely want to try to take shots a bit deeper downfield. Maybe not like what London tried just then.
Jack is going to get dropped in the backfield for a big loss. A bevy of deep red shirts on there. Phil Hall among the perpetrators on the stop. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and a big third down here for Carolina, who are 3 for 8 at the moment.
That was Jeff Gagne, excuse me, for London. South of 3rd and 5, over the middle. Looking for Prasad, and that is incomplete. Prasad extremely well covered on that play, and Carolina's going to punt.
Yeah, that ball almost intercepted. I believe that was Wyo, who almost got a hand on it to give London some incredible field position on a turnover. But unfortunately, it's just incomplete. But this punt from deep within Skyhawk territory is still going to give London some great field position to start this next drive.
Yes, it is. Mike Johnson will put it away. Saren Storm from his own 36, and he has met with an assortment of white jerseys, and Mark Martin is down. Cornerback, 3rd year. That is not a great situation when you think about the 4 and 5 wide receiver fronts that Pickler has been unleashing on this Carolina defense.
Yeah, and you saw on that ensuing rundown seemed to be favoring the hamstring there. So could potentially something as not game threatening as just cramps, but we'll see what the sideline report is here later on.
Pickler throws to Merrill on 1st and 10. Merrill makes a spin move, has a first down, then almost gets loose on the right sideline. Save for Kane Vasquez, the 8th-year strong safety, bringing him down. But it's a fresh set of downs for London.
Yeah, it was actually a double spin move there to get around the man coming up there. But a nice play by Vasquez in order to stop that from going any further and limiting the damage.
Only Merrill's 5th touch of the evening. 4 receptions and just 1 rush, which went for a loss. And now Pickler, short drop in the pocket, finds Storm. And Storm takes a shoulder from Vasquez, who's stepping up to make his presence felt in this game. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Vasquez has had enough of this London team. Unfortunately, we can't hear what's going on the field. Potentially some trash talk, though, that has Vasquez a bit peeved.
Pickler, 2nd and 5, over the middle, nearly intercepted. That was Shravan Prasad, who stepped right in front of that pass. And if he holds on to that ball, Aaron, I think he is going to the house.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you there. Unfortunately, not able to keep his hands on it. I can see the man himself probably kneeling in anguish somewhere at the fact that he cannot catch.
Pass deflection number 7 on the season for the defensive Prasad. And now Pickler throwing to the sideline again for Mike St. Green. Then St. Green makes a catch, but this time he's short of the marker. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Yeah, big stop there by the backup strong safety, Jimmy Thompson, coming up to make a play there and force a strong showing from this Carolina defense, but it looks like London could be going for it or is trying that bait and switch again.
We saw them do this in almost exactly the same field, and they jump off sides, and Pickler's going to run a play to Calia, and Calia almost gets loose. And they're going to decline the penalty, but they would have had the first down either way.
Yeah, check that to Ryan Ray, the defensive end, falling for the hard count there. And unfortunately, this drive for the London Knights is going to continue after a nice catch to, or a nice pass to Vincalia there, who's now over 200 yards.
London punted from the Carolina 34 early in the first quarter. They convert a 4th and 1 from the Carolina 38 here. And now they will stay in business for at least a few more plays. 2 tight ends for London are on the right side. Pickler has time to throw, going to the right side, nearly intercepted. Davidson Joseph nearly had his second pick of the night, but it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Davidson Joseph has been a menace on these passing routes to that one for Vincalia, the one prior that he did pick off, intended for Mike St. Green.
Pickler, 3 receivers to his right. Short drop and throws to the right. Finds St. Green. It's St. Green once again short of the marker. But after a dozen catches on the evening, you can forgive the guy if he's feeling a little winded. 3rd and 1.
Yeah, currently 12 of 13. That one missed reception coming on the Davidson Joseph interception.
And averaging a hair over 5 yards a catch. And now a spread look for Pickler in the shotgun. Matson to his left. Pressure coming. Pickler over the middle. That is caught! Another big catch. Is that Tony Phillips, the backup tight end?
I think that's Tony Phillips, the backup tight end.
Johnny Pickler getting everyone involved. And Phillips just right there in the middle. Matson was on the right side. Phillips on the left. Everybody was covering Matson. And now 1st and goal for the Knights. Her Majesty's team. Pickler in the shotgun. Throw it to the end zone. And it's a catch. Are they going to call him in? They're going to say he's down inside the 1. Vincalia.
I have to disagree with that call yet again. I'm like 90% sure that Vincalia was in the end zone for touchdown number 5.
It looked like the ball was on the stripe.
Yeah, but the refs clearly didn't see it that way.
2nd and goal. Pickler again, looking for St. Green, and that is deflected. Monte Wyatt, who missed time due to the cramps earlier in this game. Probably didn't hydrate enough on the flight. Big stop there.
Yeah, just a really nice jump on that ball in order to prevent it from falling into the hands of Mike St. Green, who's looking for his touchdown, his first touchdown on the game.
And just looking at the reaction from St. Green, I'm sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that looking at the reaction from St. Green, it looked like that ball was a little bit behind the receiver, giving Monte Wyatt a chance to close and make a play. And now 3rd and goal inside the 1 for London. Pickler looking to run. No, fine. Turns around and looking for Callie, and it's knocked away. And if Pickler would have run that, I think he would have had it.
He would have. There's no question that he would have. There was nothing but grass in between Johnny Pickler and the end zone. And instead of trying to rush it in himself, he tries to force the ball into St. Green. And it's going to force a McLongfellow field goal. I don't understand the decision making there by Pickler.
McLongfellow has not missed in this game, and he does not miss from 17 yards. But that gives London a 3-score lead, and I'm sure that was somewhere in Pickler's mind when he decided to throw that. You see the exuberance there from McLongfellow. You get down with yourself, young man.
Yeah, but London unfortunately not able to extend their lead, any further than the 3 points there. But Carolina is going to look to try and flip this palindrome of a score.
Very nice. Prasad gets it out to the 33. And now Matt South, who's had a bit of a bumpy stay here in London. 19 of 25, 2 picks, but has managed to get all his receivers involved. Both tight ends and all 3 wideouts have 1 catch. We see 3 tight ends here for 1st and 10. Logan Jack in the backfield by his lonesome. And he will catch it in the right flat. And Jack manages to shake off a tackler and turn upfield for a gain of 6. That's Jack's 7th catch of the evening, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and there was an update on Mark Martin there. Unfortunately, the yardage graphic blocked the update, so I didn't exactly get to see what the injury actually was. But hopefully he'll be able to return for Carolina.
Chiron explosion nearly matching the offensive explosion from London. Carolina looking to at least answer here as Jack runs it up the middle and will get a fresh set of downs. And you see the exuberance and perhaps even a little bit of relief from Logan Jack there as Carolina is able to move the ball.
Yeah, and this is what Carolina needs, is to get this ball rolling and basically try anything in their power to get back into this game.
Jack manages to turn upfield despite being thwarted nearly twice. And that's another nice gain on 1st down, a gain of 6. We're not seeing any sort of panic here from Carolina despite being down 3 scores.
Yeah, and honestly, that's good on Carolina. You still have a lot of time in this game in order to make up this deficit. And currently it looks like they're trying to do that almost entirely through Logan Jack.
You can't get 3 touchdowns without getting 1. And that seems to be the focus of the Carolina offense right now. Let's just get the ball down the field. Worry about scoring here. Worry about scoring later. Greer in the backfield again. And this time, Jack less prosperous on that run, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, long 2nd down here for the Skyhawks. They do find themselves in London territory for the first time in what seems like an eternity here.
Greer will stay in the game at fullback. 3 wideouts for South. South going over the middle, deflected and knocked to the ground. Great defense by the London secondary, knocking that down. 3rd and 9.
Carolina definitely needs to get something going here. Their last 3 drives were punt, end of half, and a punt. Definitely want to try and keep this drive going, and they're going to get some help from another Chad Rowland jump.
Mike Odinson, the number 4 wide receiver, making a catch in this game. Let's listen for the penalty.
Neutral zone infraction, number 69, defense, 5-yard penalty.
Once again, they're saying that's on number 69. That would be Selwyn Lane, the rookie, lined opposite Rowland on the other side of the field. As it stands, though, 5 yards for Carolina.
And a free down.
That's always nice.
So it'll be at 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 9. Much more manageable situation here for the Skyhawks.
Absolutely. Offset eye again. South over the middle. That is caught. Zoma coming up huge with that catch, getting his team a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, and that's honestly what Carolina needed here after that jump off sides by Selwyn Lane. Brings up a fresh set of downs, and they're just outside of the London red zone now and squarely within field goal range of Whistle Jones.
Jack corralled behind the line. That's Tony Roberto. who's had a couple big stops in the run game today. 2nd and 10. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the SFL started in 2013. That's youtube.com/SimulationFL. South with a deep drop on 2nd and 10, trying to avoid the pressure. And that is knocked away. Tony Roberto again, coming up huge on the pass game. And now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, but you got to give a lot of credit on that play to this front four of London, able to provide the pressure on Matt South in order to force that throw into the awaiting mitt of Roberto, who swats it away.
And now a huge 3rd down here for South. Finds Prasad, and Prasad has a 1st down. Carolina continuing to roll here on this drive.
Yeah, that's honestly probably the biggest 3rd down conversion of the day for either team. That one into the hands of Harish Prasad, who's able to continue this drive for the Skyhawks, who now find themselves in the Knights' red zone.
Play number 12 of the drive. Jack up the middle, gets a block, gets another block. Very close to the marker. Clock continues to run. You see the numbers there for Jack. 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and Logan Jack has been the lifeblood of this Carolina offense so far in this game. Over 100 yards on the ground, just over half of that through the air as well. Good for roughly 180 all-purpose.
And now play number 13 of the drive. 2 tight ends in the game for Carolina. Jack in the backfield. Matt South in the shotgun to his right. And there's a catch on the sideline. Prasad coming up with a toe touch. Good enough for the 1st down, and it stops the clock. 1st and goal, Carolina.
Yeah, another fresh set of downs here for Carolina. Less than 5 yards away now from the Knights' end zone. And realistically, we could see Carolina try to punch this in through the legs of Logan Jack.
8 in the box for London. The South will throw it. Finds Jack in the flat. Jack has a block. And we'll get down to the 2. And that ball just needed to get there a little bit quicker to give Jack a real shot at getting the end zone.
Yeah, it was a nice screen setup there for Logan Jack. Unfortunately, Matt South, like you said, just not able to get it into his hands in time to make anything worthwhile of it.
15th play of the drive. South will throw on 2nd down. A high ball to Jack. And Jack cannot turn the corner. But we will turn the corner to the 4th quarter. May I have some 4s in chat, please? Carolina trying to make a game of it. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Twitch. Welcome back to London, England. Week 9 SFL action. Josh Zirkle, Aaron Alexander in the booth. Declan O'Rourke on stats. Cameron Irvine producing. Carolina, play number 16 of the drive, trying to punch it in and make a game of it here in the UK. South in the shotgun. They're sending everybody. South delivers. It's deflected. That is Tanner Hendricks with the PD. That's going to make it 4th and goal.
Yeah, that pass bounced off the shoulder pad of Tanner Hendricks there. And London able to hold Carolina to just a potential Whistle Jones field goal. And unfortunate for the Skyhawks, they're not able to get 6.
The field goal will make this a 2-score game. It seems like a very unfortunate culmination of an 18-play drive. From 20 yards, the kick from Whistle Jones is good. And the margin is 15. London 31, Carolina 16. The palindrome score has gone the way of the Dodo.
Unfortunate. 18-play drive, though. I think that's the longest I've seen out of any team all season. And for that to only amount to a field goal is definitely disappointing if you're a Skyhawks fan.
Did you like the play calling at the goal line?
It started off decent with the screen passes to Logan Jack. But unfortunately, toward the end there, that flat, those flats weren't working. Covered pretty strongly by the likes of Jeff Gagne.
Pickler has thrown 44 passes on the evening, completed 36 of those for over 350 yards. And going to the right side there, looking for, that might have been McLovin again. And Pickler's like, what up, dog? 2nd and 10.
I mean, you definitely can't put that on the fault of the receiver. Johnny Pickler felt the pressure coming off of the edge by this Carolina front 3, excuse me. And just had to try and get something going. And unfortunately, McLongfellow not able to make a play on that ball.
Pickler will find Merrill in the right flat on 2nd down. The 720 goes nowhere. He's dragged down by Davis and Joseph just past the line of scrimmage. And Merrill excited because he knows that will keep the clock running with just under 10 and a half to play here in regulation. 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Merrill tried that double spin move again in order to try and break some additional yardage. But potentially a very key 3rd down here for London. If they can convert, this game will be even more firmly in their hands.
Trips to Pickler's right. And Pickler's still throwing, and that is caught. Kalia is going to be out of bounds short of the marker. You see the numbers there. 204 yards on 13 catches. An outstanding evening for Vin Kalia, but that is going to come up just short. And I think we're going to see Bono Wilkinson come back out here for a London punt.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you. Definitely think that's the right call for London.
Yes.
This point in the game, Carolina is still incredibly capable of closing this gap, and you want to keep your timeouts available in case you do have to, run the 2-minute drill in order to win the game.
Prasad from the 34 will get to the 36 before being brought down. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To learn more, visit apmmusic.com. Logan Jack, who has the only Carolina touchdown in this game, will get out to the 42-yard line, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, had some great blocking there on that run by Freddie Greer in order to pick up that 6 yards. But at this point, Carolina needs to get something rolling quickly with less than 10 minutes to go here in the 4th, especially being down by 2 scores.
I agree. Matt South does have 2 interceptions, but it's time to pull the handle on the slot machine, try and come up with some big money. And he may do it here around the right sideline. And that is caught, but Prasad goes out of bounds. Had the defense beat, but could not stay in bounds as he brought it in.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, too, because I believe if Harish had stayed in bounds there, that would have gone for 6. But unfortunately, the momentum from the turning grab forces it out of bounds, which still isn't a bad thing for Carolina here. Although I say that the clock still runs, so apparently they ruled him in bounds.
Wow, how does that happen?
I don't know.
South throwing to the sideline. Finds McDaniel. McDaniel Jr., I beg your pardon. And that's a gain of 4. Second and 6.
That should stop the clock here for Carolina, who now finds themselves again just on the outside of the Knights' red zone yet again. This time, though, they got there a lot quicker than 15 plays.
4 tight ends on the field for Carolina. Logan Jack struggling to bring that catch in, and Tony Roberto says, no, sir. Another TFL for Roberto. Had 2 coming in to the game this evening, and I would think that he's got at least 2 tonight. 3rd and 8.
Excuse me, you're definitely right in that regard. I do believe that was TFL number 2 for Roberto.
South over the middle on 3rd down. That's going to fall incomplete. Intended for Prasad. And there's Tony Roberto again doing the incompletion dance. And now it's 4th and 8.
Yeah, that one, another one, I believe, off the back of Roberto there. In fact, it looked like it was more off the temple of the helmet.
Still counts.
Nope, I lied. He did get a hand up. It would have been off of Gagne instead. So a good read by Roberto on that play there in order to get that pass deflection.
A nice pass coverage by a couple of linebackers on a wide receiver with almost 500 catches all time. And here comes Whistle Jones. This will be a 48-yard field goal attempt.
Definitely in his range.
This is his 4th attempt on the evening. He has not missed so far. The kick is up. And that is just barely good from 48 yards. My goodness, by the slimmest of margins. Whistle Jones makes it a 12-point game.
Good enough for TV, though. It didn't have to be pretty. It just made it through the uprights. That's all that matters. Is Carolina does close the lead here, but unfortunately not in the way that they would have liked. As honestly, if you're London, you're just going to try and run as much clock as possible. Maybe finally hand the ball off to Robert Merrill again.
And I wonder if you run your offense, speaking of Carolina here, a little bit differently trailing, because you know that Johnny Pickler's going to keep the ball in the air, so you're going to see more completions. So the clock is not going to evaporate the way that we may have expected to see it in other SFL games. And I wonder if that's been factored into Carolina's play calling here.
Possibly, but I wouldn't necessarily count on it because, you know, despite the fact that London prefers to use Robert Merrill in more of an extra receiver capacity, he's a very capable running back in his own right. And in a situation like this, if you don't respect that run game, London's going to bite you in the behind.
Callie is going to get the first down. I thought he stepped out of bounds there. Officials say no. And London will have first down. The clock is stopped with 8 minutes remaining.
Yeah, definitely thought that as well. In fact, it definitely, yeah, Carolina's going to challenge that. And I think they're going to win that challenge too. Callie definitely just got a toe out of bounds there. About 7 yards, I believe, into that catch.
Well, it's not only the 7 yards, but it's also a down. Yeah, yep. I mean, that's pretty clearly out of bounds.
Yep, right at that 7 yard mark. So first challenge of the game goes the way of the Skyhawks, I believe.
Out of bounds. The visiting team will not be charged with a timeout.
Ruling on the field is overturned. Carolina will keep that timeout. I suspect they're going to need it a little bit later. But now they have a chance to get London off the field with a 3 and out.
Yeah, this is a short second down here, though. London, as we've seen, more than capable of picking these up, especially with a 5 yard out route into the hands of Mr. Allstate himself, Mike St. Green.
Pickler to the right side, finds St. Green, and St. Green has the first down before being blasted. into the middle of next week by Davidson Joseph. 1st and 10.
And a key, Mike St. Green does stay in bounds.
He's a veteran. The man knows his football. Bunch formation to Pickler's left. St. Green in the inside slot receiver. Short drop. Pickler throwing to the left. Deflected and falls incomplete. Looking for Calia one more time, but Tristan Hatley had other plans. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Tristan Hatley finally able to get his head on a swivel correctly and deflect that pass intended for Vin Calia.
Harish Prasad leading the Carolina receivers with 7 catches. London has 2 receivers with at least 13. And Pickler deals there to find Saren Storm. Only his 4th catch of the evening. But it's good to bring in a 3rd and medium here for London.
Yeah, Saren Storm has been awfully quiet this game, but honestly, that's just due to the type of games that Mike St. Green and Vin Calia have been having.
Agreed. Pickler and shotgun at 3rd and 5. There's Calia over the middle, putting his body on the line. And that comes up golden for a 1st down.
Yeah, catch number 15. Pickler's 42nd completion on 52 attempts. Good for over 400 yards through the air with only 1 interception, which is under normal circumstances, I was going to say uncharacteristic of Pickler and this London offense, but it's paying dividends.
Pickler over the middle. St. Green coming up. No, it's Benji Matson. Excuse me. Benji Matson with his 1st catch of the game.
You finally got one.
Matson waiting patiently. Spent a lot of time lined up on the offensive line. Really had to work for that one. My goodness. Daniel Valentine, the rookie, trying to wrestle that ball out of there. But no, Matson hangs on. London will move the chains.
That one good for 13 to the tight end.
Now trips to Pickler's left. St. Green to the right. Another catch. Catch number 14 for Mr. St. Green. 2nd and 6.
Yeah, London in good hands with the ball in the hands of Mike St. Green, who's just played this possession style receiver really well all game.
Johnny Pickler surely feeling very fortunate that Mike St. Green is on his side. Pickler with a deep drop on 2nd and 6, steps up in the pocket. And there's another catch at the sideline. That's Robert Merrill. You swing those arms, young man. And that is a huge catch, getting them into the Carolina red zone.
Yeah, getting them into the Carolina red zone for the first time in a while since their 2nd drive, I believe. And realistically, if I remember right, I don't think they were in the red zone on that drive either.
Pickler finds Merrill again. Merrill turns upfield, spin move. Joseph drags him down, but stays in bounds. The clock continuing to run. Less than 5 minutes remaining here. And now that decision to go for the field goal earlier, maybe bringing up some second thoughts on that Carolina sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. If realistically, if London finds the end zone here, this, especially in the with how much time is left, we could reasonably chalk this up to a win for the Knights.
Kelly near the sideline. They're going to say he's got the 1st down. 1st and goal, gets out of bounds with 4:32 to play. But that will give at least 4 more plays to the Knights, and Carolina's going to challenge this one.
Yeah, Carolina, I believe, thinking that Vin Calia stepped out just short of the 1st down marker.
It worked before. We'll get a great look at it here.
No, that ball was passed, I believe. Yep, right there.
Mm-hmm. The spinning of the body around brought the ball over the plane
Also
of the first down line.
Yep.
The call on the field is overturned. The visiting team.
Excuse me?
My goodness. Carolina wins their second challenge of the evening.
Excuse me?
That is a remarkable turn of events.
Okay.
Instead
Sure.
of a first down, it's now 3rd and inches. Carolina jumps offside. Pickler to the end zone, deflected, incomplete. But no matter, they're going to get the first down anyway.
Not only are they going to get the first down, that penalty, I believe, is going to put them.
Yeah, because they're outside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I think it's going to put them at the goal line.
Oh, my goodness.
It's either going to put them at the goal line or at the 2.
What a wild sequence of events we are witnessing here in London.
What on earth? Okay.
You win the challenge that you probably shouldn't have won. You force 3rd and inches. You get a chance to get the ball back, and then you jump offside.
And then you jump off sides and give them 1st and goal on the 2. Which is roughly where it would have been had you not even challenged the spot of that ball.
Pickler on first down, dealing to St. Green, and Mike St. Green has his first touchdown of the night.
And I think we can safely say that the Knights have put this one to bed, having doubled the Skyhawk score, barring this extra point from Peter McLongfellow.
The extra point would make it a 19-point game with 4:25 remaining. About as insurmountable as it gets. McLongfellow had himself a busy night. Kick is good. And the margin is 19. The SFL 17th season continues on Next Level Sports tomorrow, with undefeated Baltimore heading down to the Sunshine State to face the surging Jacksonville Kings, and we will stay in state to check in with an Atlantic Division tilt between Charleston and Florida. The SFL Sunday Spotlight rolls on tomorrow on Next Level Sports. Prasad has been known to break a few, but can't quite do it there. We'll get out to the 35. And if Matt South has a rabbit in his hat, now would be a fine time to pull it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to need more than just one. He's going to need one of those like never-ending handkerchiefs at this point.
And the rings? Maybe those 3 rings?
Yep.
Is this your card? Is this your card? Matt South over the middle. Prasad with a big catch. Out to midfield. Carolina will hurry up.
Matt South is like, no, this is your card. It's a Prasad brother.
That's right. Here comes the blitz for London. South dealing to the left side. Great catch by Prasad at the sideline. And that's another first down. And that will stop the clock with 4:04 left in the 4th quarter.
Matt South pulls the Prasad card yet again here. And that is another Carolina first down. And I believe they got him out of bounds. So Carolina with potential to at least close the gap. I don't think they stand a chance to actually win this game, but point differential could matter in the end.
Back-to-back 14-yard catches for Prasad. Thank you, Declan O'Rourke. And there's another catch by Prasad. He got jammed up at the line. That almost looked pretty serious. Carolina hurrying up.
Reasonable, I think, given the circumstances.
South will stay in the shotgun. Under pressure. Down he goes!
Chad
The
rolling
pressure
with
got
another
home.
sack.
And that will push Carolina back to the 32-yard line. 2nd and 15. And South will throw in a hurry, and that was incomplete. Looking for Avalos. 3rd and 15.
Yeah, that honestly was a good-looking pass. Unfortunately, London's defense able to get a hand on it before it could get to Avalos. And a long third down here for the Skyhawks. They need to convert if they want any sort of chance to try and get this game at least a little bit closer.
5 wideouts on the field for Carolina. There's a big catch by Prasad. Is he going to get to the marker, though? They're going to say he's short. 4th and 1, and he stays in bounds. Clock is running.
I do think Carolina does have an extra challenge. We may see that flag come out here again, challenging the spot of that ball.
I don't think he's close. Oh, maybe there. I thought he was down before that by at least a half a yard.
I definitely agree with you. I don't agree with kicking a field goal here, though.
This will put us soaring past the over. As Whistle Jones is good from 34 yards.
Yeah, that puts this game at 60 points, I believe. Definitely think Carolina should have gone for that, though, on 4th and 1. Especially being down by 19.
I agree with you, buddy. And Carolina choosing instead to look ahead. Going to pack up their tent and live to play another day. Or do the onside kick, and they've got a shot at that.
Did they get it?
It's hard to tell who recovered that. It's 1st and 10 at the Carolina 40. Let's take a look at the replay. That ball is going to bounce forever. And even at the first replay, you can't tell who had that.
The replay's making it look like Carolina recovered it. They did.
It looks like yes.
They did.
We did not get the number on the player, but that is going to be Carolina ball.
That was one of the backup receivers, I believe. That was Cameron Walsh, number 83, on the recovery.
I don't know how you saw that, but that is outstanding. Short drop for South, under pressure. Now he's going to throw it deep. And that's Avalos with a huge catch over the middle. And here comes the hurry up once again.
It was McDaniel Jr. actually on that great reception there.
Absolutely. Please excuse me. South again, sliding. This time is Prasad, but that's not enough to get it done. Emmanuel Blackman on the coverage there. 2nd and 10.
There's a reason there are 2 pairs of eyes up in the booth here, Josh.
That's what it's all about. Checks and balances.
Carolina, though, with a big 2nd down here in London territory, trying to get even more points on the board.
4 wideouts for South. Dealing to the right side this time. Nearly intercepted. My goodness. Blackman again. Reading Matt South like a book. Nearly had his first interception of the game.
Yeah, Blackman just reading into the deep in the eyes of Matt South here. Gets a 2nd pass deflection that could reasonably have been picked off. That one, I believe, was intended for Sam Avalos. And now Carolina has a decision to make here on 3rd down.
Another 3rd and long here for Carolina. That has been the story of their evening abroad. Right here. 6 of 15 on 3rd downs. And they convert here. South to the left side. Big catch made there. That's Mike Odinson, the number 4 wide receiver. Carolina will hurry up again with a fresh set of downs.
They're in the red zone now, too.
South looking toward the red zone. He's got it! Touchdown! I think that's Odinson again. 10-point game. Just saying.
They got to go for 2 here. I think they have to go for 2 here and try that onside kick again.
Yes.
This game, it just became a lot closer than we thought.
The 2-point conversion.
Boy.
The 2-point conversion would make this an 8-point game. A 1-score affair. And here comes the Carolina offense. South will be under center with split backs. 3 wideouts in the game. Short drop for South, throwing to the left side. It's Freddie Greer, the fullback, and Greer can't get in the end zone.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Greer had a lot of space. Unfortunately, that ball just not able to get into his hands in time to try and push that upfield. The 2-point conversion is no good. And Carolina is going to see if they can pull some more magic out of the hat on this onside kick.
Onside kick numero 2, and that one is recovered by London.
Yeah, the backup free safety, Eric Toney, of the hands team, getting that one. So the second chance onside kick, unfortunately, doesn't go the way of Carolina. Though they still have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
And Pickler is going to continue to throw it here on first down. Throw it to the left side. St. Green has another first down. Catch number 16 for St. Green for a tidy 100 yards on the nose.
Yeah, and it's the unfortunate downside to the onside kick is that London has really good field position now, just 7 yards away from the Carolina red zone, and I believe realistically are in range for Peter McLongfellow.
Right after a short break. London calling. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on Twitch. And we will stay right here and just put a bow on London's 4th win of the season. Pickler over the middle. And that is Rocco McLovin, who has been a tangible force in this game. Carolina calls timeout.
Yeah, you've absolutely got the right of it. McLongfellow, despite being lower in the depth chart for this Knights offense, has made his presence known here in a couple of big ways. That catch being just the latest in his heroics.
Pickler over the middle. St. Green. St. Green takes a shot. And Carolina will use their second timeout. That will stop the clock with 1:52 remaining. Now, if London gets a field goal here, let's say Carolina does hold London to a field goal. That's still a 13-point margin with less than 2 minutes remaining.
They would need to score in like 45 seconds.
Instantly, if possible.
And recover an onside kick and then do it again.
Pickler finds his man. Is that Callie again? It's Siren Storm. Siren Storm has a touchdown tonight. London extends their lead.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns on the day for Johnny Pickler, and that touchdown into the hands of Siren Storm 100% seals this game away for the Knights here on their home turf. 5 straight won by the home team in this series.
McLovin did a nice job of keeping the defense honest there, while Siren Storm sat underneath. Very impressive effort there. And now McLongfellow. That leg's got to be getting tired at this point. 45-28. London and Carolina will sport identical 4-5 records at the end of this one. And Aaron, I was talking with another SFL broadcaster, and I said that if London does make the playoffs, I think you absolutely have to make Johnny Pickler the MVP. I don't think there's any doubts about it. What are your thoughts on that?
I can definitely see the argument. I can definitely see the line. Unfortunately, I just think with this game, of course, being an exception, but just the amount of turnover, Trevor, that Pickler has had earlier on in the season, I think there's other quarterbacks certainly, but just other players as a whole that I think should get the call. over Pickler. Nothing to discredit the season that he's had, especially a game like today where he's almost at 500 yards through the air with 6 touchdowns. But there's definitely a bigger picture that you have to look at. And while I'll reiterate, Pickler's definitely a part of that picture. I think, someone like Jack Wigmore or
Sure.
Ezekiel Love, Robert Redford definitely deserve to have their names called for that MVP spot.
I think there are a lot of different names you can call in there. And I don't know if you're one of those people that looks at the MVP argument and says most valuable to their team, in the sense that if their team is not a successful team, then there's no way that person could be an MVP, no matter how great the season they might have had or how much they might have meant to their team. But my feeling is, as we watch McDaniel Jr. go down the right sideline, he's going to get down to the 25. Carolina's going to use their last timeout. I think that if you listen to how Chad Rowland has glowed over the arrival of Johnny Pickler, who, to be fair, arrived at very, very auspicious in a bizarre sort of situation, especially after his departure from Louisiana. And Rowland has gone through SFL media and sung his praises, talked about how he has changed the culture. He has won over the locker room. He's made London. I think we will see free agents, whether they're wide receivers or tight ends, that are dying to play with Johnny Pickler. And I don't think that matters as much if the team doesn't make to the playoffs. But I think if they do make the playoffs, I think that matters a lot more. That is just my opinion.
Yeah, and like I said, I can definitely see the line where Johnny Pickler does get MVP honors at the end of the season, especially if London does find themselves in playoffs, especially if they manage one of the higher seeds, say, 6-7 in the playoffs. But as it stands right now, I think it's a bit too early specifically to call Pickler MVP.
Hey, like I said, I think he's got to get to the playoffs first. And you look at the rest of London's schedule, that is not anywhere near settled. They go to Florida next week, and then they host DC, and then to put a bow on it in week 12, they have to beat Baltimore, who still has not lost a game yet this season. And you mentioned Jack Wigmore, and Wigmore's not the only one on that team that has been playing out of his mind. Saron Yates, leading the league in TFLs and sacks, would be another guy. And if you want to bang the drum for a defensive guy, I think Saron Yates IV would be that guy.
Yeah, if not Saron Yates IV, then Giovanni Bolts.
Yes. 13 interceptions in 8 games. That is absolutely ridiculous. 4th and goal here for Carolina. We'll see if they can punch this in here. Jack is going to get the call. Nowhere to go. Tremendous, tremendous goal line stand by the London defense. That is backup defensive tackle Tony Bigby. The backups are getting some love here. And then Carolina will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, and I think at this point, London is just going to kneel this away. They only need to kneel it once, and we're going to go to the end of this game here. London going to take what did turn out to be a shootout between these two teams, as they decide to pass it. I believe that was Pendragon, actually.
Arthur Pendragon coming in, the backup. That is incomplete. 2nd and 10. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on For the Fans continues tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, headlined by a mega showdown on the West Coast, where the 5-3 Portland Fleet will meet the 5-3 Los Angeles Lycans in a battle for the Pacific Division lead. Bonus coverage includes Charleston, Florida, and Lone Star, Arizona. It all comes your way next Sunday on For the Fans. And I don't know how I did it, but I did all my reads in this broadcast. Good job, me.
Congratulations. Never a dull moment here in the Zirkle Alexander booth.
Never, never. That would defeat the entire purpose. But this has been a fun game. I think both of these teams are obviously very strong. I don't think the door is closed for Carolina by any stretch. Anything could happen here. 6-6.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely not.
might get in. Maybe they won't. We don't know. Pendragon takes a knee, and you could bring out the fish and chips. Congratulations to the London Knights. Your final score, Knights 45, Carolina Skyhawks 28. AA, your thoughts on the game?
It honestly went kind of how I expected. I expected it to be a shootout between two very high-powered offenses, which, as you can see, it was, with over 1,000 yards combined between the two teams. And it just came down to, honestly, those early turnovers. Why Matt South in the first half, I think, determined the momentum for this game, and it never really swayed away from that, despite an attempted fourth quarter comeback by the Skyhawks, which included a surprising onside kick recovery that they managed to turn into a touchdown. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion and ensuing onside kick did not go their way. But, realistically, you would expect your team to win if your quarterback throws 6 passing TDs through the air.
I really thought we had a chance to see the momentum swing Carolina's way when Pickler was a third and about a foot, third and goal from the 1 foot line, and did not run it in. Threw the ball, was incomplete, and they had to settle for the field goal, and it was 31-13 at that point. And then Carolina ripped off an 18-play drive, but they couldn't find the end zone there, had to settle for a field goal. And I think the field goals, Whistle Jones, 5 for 5. You needed to take 2 or 3 of those field goals to turn them into touchdowns. And I think with Matt South getting conservative, like you said, it affected the momentum, but I think it also affected the play calling for Carolina. And I think ultimately London got in the driver's seat and they stayed there. And that guy right there, Johnny Pickler, making it all happen. 5 touchdown passes. My goodness.
6.
6.
It was 6.
See, I can only count on one hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need the thumb there.
Yeah,
Dude.
he had 4 to Vin Calia, 1 to Mike St. Green, and that last one to Saren Storm.
Just ridiculous. Calia finishes with 226 yards, 16 catches. Mike St. Green, 7 catches, 108 yards.
Pickler's gonna get player of the game odds. Oh no, it's Calia.
Vin Calia, 4 touchdowns. Hello, sir.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
AA enjoyed it as always.
Yep.
For Declan O'Rourke, for Cameron Irvine, and Aaron Alexander, my name is Josh Circle. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again to the London Knights. Your final score from Queensway, London 45, Carolina 28.